Hey, it's James and Michael from the Crypto Guys. And in this video, what impact does a war have on the markets? Also, how long could this bear market go? We have some data to give you some insight. And, there's a lot of crypto experts out there that only understand crypto, which is honestly only been around for 11 years. They fail to see the bigger picture. But we're going to talk about that today and help you understand the bigger picture. Also, what the S&P tells us about the crypto market right now. So make sure you watch this video until the very end because we've got so much good stuff to show you today. And remember to hit the like button. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe. And quick disclaimer, everything we're saying here is not financial advice. Like any investments, you need to do your own due diligence. So, Michael, I woke up this morning and I got a text from my mother, and she wanted to know, because she knows I'm in crypto, and she wants to know, how does the war affect crypto?
Well, we have data that shows it doesn't really affect much, but I think we need to look at the bigger picture of a recession, right? So a bear market. And how long will that last? And we're going to answer that question. But first, let's look at the chart. So we'll come back and answer your mother's question. But yeah, so things in the short term anyway are kind of looking bullish because, if you remember, we talked about this was my buy level one, 34,700. And if you bought in, congratulations, because you just had a pump. And right now we're right here, right? And so we've got some resistance at the $39,000 level. And the question is, well, are we going to be rejected? And if we are, what's my price prediction? And if we break through, where do we go? Well, obviously, it should be pretty obvious that we're probably going to go up to that 42,000. So I will explain to you exact sales target if that happens, but that could be a potential scenario, right? But I want to tell you very clearly that it's possible that we get rejected even now. And if we do, we're probably going to see a lower low, and our next probably would reach our next buy level at 33,500. Now, the broadening wedge, descending broadening wedge, which is what this is, usually the sales target is actually not that high. It's at this line right here. It's at the top of the wedge. So you're not really going to see much pump. So that's why my advice to buying here at the support is already made you approximately right now 13.7%. So is it a good idea to sell right now? Well, I can tell you that I've sold some of my position at this price. I didn't sell everything because there's still a possibility that we break through that level. And if that happens, of course, I want to be in a trade. So I'm hoping that we're going to break through, but there's no guarantee. Let me explain to you and show you the next chart, which is this one. Okay. Now, this is called the double bottom pattern rather. And what it is kind of like a W. You go down and then you go up, right? And then you go back down to the support, right? And it is supposed to go back up to this breakout line, right? Now, it's called the breakout line because if it doesn't break out, I think we're going to see a lower low, right? At the next level, which is probably either 33,000 or even 31,000 is in the cards, right? So, but if we do break, then you maybe wonder what's the sales target. Now, this is where it gets a little complicated because you see this, you might wonder as you look at this line, what is that? And this is the bull support band. And it's basically the 21-week EMA and the 20-week MA right here. So we've already got rejected right here, and we got rejected here. And probably we may get rejected again because that is the biggest resistance in a bear market. And a bear market means that we're below the bull market support band. And that's exactly where we are. So it's a more stronger chance that we get rejected and get a lower low. And the reason I say that the chances are higher we get rejected, by the way, this is not financial advice. I could be wrong. Maybe we break through. And if we break through, then it becomes a bull market again. That's possible, but it's unlikely. And we're going to talk about why that may be unlikely next week, right? And not everything is possible. I'm not saying it's completely not going to happen, but make sure to subscribe to the channel because we're going to explain the whole cycle of the economy next week, okay? Now, for now, let me show you the potential fractal in the S&P 500. I'm looking at the S&P 500 chart. And in case you're wondering, what are we looking at? This is where the S&P 500 is. But I think we have a potential fractal. And you can see that, we already went down to A, right? Then we went up to B. and then back down to C. And that's where we're at. And now we're on our way up, potentially to go back to D, which is why I think there's a strong chance that we're going to make it to 44,000. So don't exit all your trades, right? Unless you want to play it safe, then exit your trades. You made 12%, but the chances are that we keep going up is quite high. And if we go up, then that will be a pump of about 29%. Of course, you're going to get pumps in bear markets. That's what I'm saying. So there's a good chance that we make it all the way back to D. But are we going to break through when we get to D? The answer is probably not. According to this fractal, we're going to go back to E, and then you can buy again there and sell at F. And then we're going to have a massive drop, right? And just like Jamie talked about, most people in the crypto, they understand a lot about crypto. But in my opinion, Bitcoin is only 11 years. It's a baby. Maybe people don't understand, right? But when we look at the S&P 500, or we look at the average time of a bear market, is 289 days or 9.6 months. Now, how long have we been in a bear market? And one way to do that would be to look at, how long we broke below this 21-week EMA. And so if we go back and measure that until where we are now, so it's approximately 84 days. I don't know, we can do the maths here, but 209. Okay, so it's 200 days more, right? We basically have 200 days more to deal with this potential fractal. And of course, fractals are never guaranteed. They're the least likely scenario, but at least it gives you kind of a picture of what could happen. Because a lot of times, if we can't visualize, if we can't make a picture of it, we don't know how to play the game. And yesterday, when I made a video, I kind of explained to you how to play the game. Yes, you can make money during a bear market, but you have to understand that your sales targets, they get lower with time. Every time you buy here, your sales target is lower than the previous time. And if you buy here, your sales target has to be lower because we continue to put lower highs. Even though we might put the same buy at the same level, that may last for very long. But as you can see, this kind of matches the fractal on the S&P 500. But of course, with Bitcoin, I'm not going to say that's my final prediction. But right now, this could be a potential fractal for Bitcoin. And you want to be cash positive so you can accumulate it at the lower price if that happens. And my predictions are right. So again, this is not financial advice, but hopefully that you can see the picture of what may happen with Bitcoin based on what will happen to the S&P 500 and everything going on. So there you go. That's what I have to say about that.
I'm glad that you talked about making money in a bear market. And I think a lot of people in crypto are new to investing overall. Like they weren't in stocks before, but they've jumped into crypto, and it's an exciting new world. And no one wants, in many people's minds, it's like no one wants a bear market because they want it to be bullish, but it can't be bullish all the time. Like these are cycles that we all have to go through. At the same time, I'm glad you showed that data about what's the average time that we spend in a bear market. Now, does that mean average? Doesn't mean that it's always going to be that. But let's say this bear market follows that trend, then we have another 6 months. We have another 6 months in a bear market. Yeah. And for a lot of people, they think, oh, that's bad news. That's not necessarily bad news. Like you said, it's trading differently, right? It becomes a little harder to maybe predict prices in a bear market than a bull market. But at the same time, like you said, you can still make money. And as long as you're smart about it,
you can still make money in a bear market. In fact, as a great trader, you don't want to stop. And of course, you need a strategy. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We will walk you through this journey together if we are in a bear market. If not, we will know soon, because Bitcoin will go over the bull market support band. It will break through. But again, this is not likely to happen. And we will explain to you why next week. We could be wrong, but it's not likely to happen, meaning on a probability level, we're probably going to be rejected. If not now at the 45 or 44, $44,000 level, as I've been talking to you about. Yeah, 42, in fact, right? So that's what we're looking at. So we're about, 44 is where the bull market support band is going. So potentially 44 could be the level we get rejected, or even lower. It could be 42. right? Because there's a lot of resistance. So in fact, I think we could do something like this and say, well, it's probably going to be that zone that is a lot of resistance. We need to be aware of that if we break through now. So if we break through, it's important to understand that there is massive resistance at that level, massive like resistance. So that would be my next sell level, in case you're wondering, right here, right? I would sell my position because I don't believe we're going to break through. Now, if I'm wrong and it does break through, then I might buy again. This will be called the breakout, trading, but more likely is that we go back down. And not only we go back down, but we would go back down and we would go all the way back to maybe a little bit of a lower low, like 30,000 even would be into the cards. So yeah, that's how I look at it. And that's the plan right now. But as we continue forward, I might get more data and be able to give you different price predictions. But
you go back to that screen for a moment. I just wanted to make a comment. And because on the screen, you had Warren Buffett buys Bitcoin. And we did a video about that a while ago. And so, here's an interesting question. Do you think Warren Buffett is worried right now about his Bitcoin investment?
That's a good, no, because his philosophy is very different. If you've ever learned from Warren Buffett about trading, his philosophy is very, very simple. You buy quality assets and you hold on to them forever. That's it. Like that's his belief, right? So he's not worried about the price or the bear market. But I think another question to ask is, why would he sell Visa or MasterCard in order to buy Bitcoin? And it's should be obvious that he believes it's a better asset. And over the long term, he finally understands that Bitcoin will always trend to higher highs on the long term, right? On a macro level. So I don't think he's worried about it at all. I don't think he's losing sleep over it. I think he's just quite like relaxed, and he's quite confident that he made the right investment at this price. I think he's been waiting for a lower price to buy at, which when he saw that he could buy it at 40,000, that was why he bought Bitcoin. So, but again, I always said to people, like, these lower prices, like 33,000, they're not for billionaires. They're for average people like you and I, because there's just not enough volume for billionaires to buy at the lower prices. So keep that in mind. Why billionaires, Michael Saylor, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk are going to buy at the higher prices? Because there's not enough volume. They need volume to buy. They need enough volume to make a transaction of $1 billion, right? So
yeah. Now I wanted to bring that up about Warren Buffett because, obviously, yeah, I don't think he's losing sleep over the trade, because I think he was waiting for price to come down once he understood Bitcoin, and he knew that Russia was potentially going to invade Ukraine. He knew about the rising in inflation, especially in the USA. He knew about all this stuff. Like, these guys are really smart, and it's why they're where they are today. So for those of you that sometimes might be, have fear come in about the markets and about trading, just understand, like, you don't have to think that way at all. The guys that do this really well, they buy at the right times, they hold, they're patient, and it's all about having a great strategy. And that's what we're trying to help you with this channel. So again, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot of great stuff coming later next week. Also, we're here every single day, and we keep a very close pulse on what's going on in the markets, especially crypto and Bitcoin.
Yeah. You know what, before we go, one more question I would think about Warren Buffett is that how long did he hold Visa and MasterCard for? It's a long time, like we're decades, True. Isn't it? So, imagine where Bitcoin's going to be if he holds Bitcoin as long as he held Visa or MasterCard. I think that's the point, that successful people are able to think long term. A lot of us believe that Bitcoin is going to be over $1 million soon, right? I mean, by 2030. So if he just held it until 2030 and Bitcoin becomes $1 million and he bought $1 billion now at 40,000, think of the amount of money he's going to make. And that's how I would say Warren Buffett thinks. He actually finally believes that Bitcoin on a macro level in the long term is going to reach $1 million per Bitcoin. Probably that's what he thinks. All right, maybe it's not $1 million, maybe it's 500,000, but it's much better than Visa or MasterCard, isn't it?
No doubt, no doubt. Fantastic. Michael, as always, great to chat. Lots going on in the world. and lots going on in the crypto world as well. So make sure you tune in. We'll be back here again tomorrow, and like I said, every day, subscribe to the channel. If you like the comment, hey, let us, or if you like the content, let us know. Smash that like button. We always love to see that.
All right, bye for now.